All right, so we back. Had to take a little, Josh, the bartender, he makes great drinks. So
So now we about to get into this. We're gonna review this Mavericks and T-Wolves. Two games we've had so far. I'm gonna say this because I said it already before in our WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. If they have a good game shooting as a team, they beat the Wolves by like 15, 20 points.
I'm about to say they've been winning without having good games. They was missing all their free throws the other night, bro.
Yeah, did you see the
Kyrie missed I seen him miss 2. I'm like,
yeah, did you see Jason Kidd in the locker room after the game?
Nah, I didn't see. I didn't even see the post.
So Jason Kidd in the locker room, it was funny because after he says what he says and the players come in the huddles and they put their hands in and say stuff, he's like, yeah, free throws.
Hey, listen. Honestly, the Timberwolves should be ashamed of themselves.
He just tipped the ball in for the other team.
Indiana's up 90-81, bro. It's one in the fourth. But first of all, the Timberwolves should be ashamed of themselves because the Mavericks was handing them the game. Just here, take it. Mm-hmm. And y'all slapped it out. Like, I don't understand. Like, listen. My whole thing, I like, and it's cold, but all these, look, he needs better guys with him. He's looking to get his guys involved, and they just not. I think Ant is ready. I think he is. I just think that he has the mentality that's needed. He wants it to be a team thing. He don't want to do it by himself. If this was Kobe or Jordan, they'd be like, bump it. I'm going to just go and do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm sure, but if they was to approach the game like that with these players as teammates, would they have gotten this far?
With Kobe or Jordan?
Yeah.
Well, you need solid dudes with you, point blank, right, period. So there's no other way around it.
That's why.
And Ant understands and recognizes that. That's why he be saying what he be saying about Cat. Like, if you don't foul out or get in foul trouble, you know what I'm saying? Right. He recognizes he needs these dudes. That's why he give McDaniels a lot of that praise. Which McDaniels is coming into his own. I like McDaniels.
McDaniels, he's the true definition of 3-and-D.
McDaniels,
3-and-D guy.
I'll be trying to keep McDaniels because what McDaniels is doing, I could see teams looking at him like, hey, let's get on the phone and try to make a trade or look at his contract situation to see what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? Because
we jumping a little bit ahead.
Hey,
but yeah, I would be trying to move some other players around.
Well, we already know who need to be moved. That's not even a shocker here.
Yeah, the two.
Gobert got to go. And Cat got to go.
And Cat got to
It's just that simple.
I'm telling you right now. I'll offer. Well, I'm not gonna get.
No, what you gonna do? No, go ahead.
Well, see, I would be trying to get marketing off of Utah.
I don't think Utah giving up no marketing for Cat or Gobert. Well, Gobert was already there.
Gobert back, but
and you gotta think about McDaniels there. They gonna want him.
Well, look, McDaniels is gonna be off limits. McDaniels is off limits because McDaniels he's the defender that you need next to a guy like Ant. Even though Ant himself, he plays good defense.
He played serviceable defense. He's not playing good defense on Kyrie.
Well, who does?
But when you open your mouth and say
you're right, but this has always been Ant. This has always been Ant. Like, if you listen to Ant in his interviews ever since he was a rookie, this dude been ignorant. Okay? This dude been ignorant.
But regardless of the fact, you said that you was gonna guard Kyrie.
Well, he was riding that high of confidence after beating Jokic because he was in the interview giving Jokic his flowers, saying that Jokic is the best player in the league, which is, to me, that's still what it is.
He is the best player in the league, though, is he not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To me, that's still what it is. And so for him, he beat his idol, his GOAT,
KD,
in the first round.
Do you think that's wrong for him to feel that way?
No, it's not wrong for him. I mean, well, you mean like calling KD the GOAT?
His GOAT?
Well, look, everybody got a right to their own opinion.
Okay.
Everybody got a right to. I mean, some of these kids feel Paul George is the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got a right to their own opinion. Do I have to agree with it? Nope.
All right.
Not at all. But
no, I'm not.
But yeah. So I feel like though, for the Timberwolves, they are schematically doing things wrong right now. Cause the biggest mistake that they doing is putting their best offensive player on the deadliest one-on-one player probably that this league has ever seen.
Okay, but my question is this, right? Just to play devil's advocate, who's gonna guard him? Who?
Listen,
because he's gonna get off. I mean, it seems as if I'm gonna say. Let me rephrase this. Does Ant Edwards got enough in his bag to compete blow for blow with Kyrie on offense? Because at that point, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, he got enough. Ant got enough, especially in this day and age of the NBA. Going
to
back
go
to
blow
that,
for blow.
To go blow
Kyrie?
for blow with any offensive player in this league. He can, look. This he can't guard Kyrie. He can't. But the same thing that we say about Kyrie, and due to the fact of the way the league is right now, who can guard Ant?
He's more stoppable than Kyrie. We've seen that already.
I hear what you're saying, but who is going to do that? Who going to do that on Dallas?
Now, you showed me a stat with Ant.
Which one?
Hold on. You showed me a stat where he's shooting a low percentage here.
Yeah, career low over the last 3 games.
Let me make sure I get this correct. Let me pull this up because let me see here. Okay. Has shot 29.8% over the last 3 games. The worst in any 3-game span of his career.
Because the way teams are defending him,
so
they giving him that Kobe treatment. Like they making him have to see multiple bodies.
But that's what greats have to deal with.
Right. And so does he have to learn how to overcome that?
Yes.
But you can make it a little bit easier on him by allowing him to have the energy to fight through that by not having him have to guard Kyrie.
So we talked about this off the air, right? The difference with the Mavs and the Wolves is the fact that the Mavs, all they guys is a factor here. Every last one of them. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say that about the T-Wolves.
Well,
because Gobert, not a factor.
He's not a factor.
Cat, he clearly isn't a factor like that. Otherwise, he would have been playing the fourth quarter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If he's not hitting threes,
once again,
he's not a factor, son. Like, I mean, if he's not hitting threes, he's not a factor. Who's the 3 of the Wolves? It's McDaniels. He's McDaniels is a factor. I like McDaniels. And Conley, listen, you gotta give Conley some rope because how long has Conley been playing?
Well, I mean, Conley played well the other night.
We can't look at Conley to be
the guy.
Or the we're looking at Conley like Al Horford, but Conley, he's just an extension of the coach. He's in position to help and do what he got to do. I'm not looking at Conley to be dropping 20 or 30 and none of that. He's here to help Ant get in his positions and things like that and pretty much guide the offense. That's his role. You should not be expecting nothing else more than that from Conley. Right?
Look, here's the thing. the second and third biggest problem is they bigs aren't playing and using their size to their advantage.
When has Cat ever done that?
But that's always been what I've said to other
Cat
people. Because there's some people that swear that Cat could be that guy.
Who is these people?
Some random friends that I know. They got their emotions wrapped up in a certain team.
And Karl Anthony Towns?
And they feel like Karl Anthony Towns would be the perfect complement to their team. And I'm saying
Karl Anthony Towns.
Same, and I'm gonna tell you right now the same thing that I told them. Cat has been the same player for the past 9 years, going on 10.
I'm gonna say this about. It's one thing if you're the same player, if you a Joe Johnson or Al Horford, because this is the thing, right? A Joe Johnson, he plays his position well as a 2.
Yeah.
Plug and play guy. He handles his business. He does what he's supposed to do in the right spots. You know what I'm saying? Right. Same thing as Al Horford. Mm-hmm. But Cat, in your position, he's supposed to be what, a superstar?
He's supposed to be arguably one of the. I mean, because
Cat's supposed to be. He's a power forward, so. Karl Anthony Towns supposed to be.
His name's supposed to be up there with the Anthony Davises.
And
of the league.
Anthony Davises and stuff like that. He's supposed to be at least that. I'm not saying Kevin Garnett, but he's supposed to be like a tier 2 4. Yeah, I say Anthony Davis is a tier 2 4. Right?
He's supposed to be up there.
So he's not that. He doesn't play. Karl Anthony Towns is a big dude. If this dude actually went to the post and played a post game, he'd be probably unstoppable.
Right.
He's not a small guy, right? And he can shoot the 3, but that shouldn't be his primary go-to move.
See, but this is the thing with Cat. He's stupid. Like
I'm not arguing that.
He always gets into foul trouble. Like last night.
And already said it. He the first player I heard say it live. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
right. And he needs to learn how to, let certain things be just behind closed doors.
What you mean?
Meaning that, yeah, it was true what you said to him in front of the press.
About foul trouble?
Yeah. But obviously he knows Ant well enough to where he can get away with that with Ant. But if there was anybody else that, like, you don't need to be calling out my flaws in front of the press, because I can do the same thing with you.
Let me play devil's advocate again. How long Ant been with the Wolves?
What, this is like year 4?
How long has Cat been with the Wolves?
9.
So you 10. Got some cat that come through and take your team from you.
Exactly.
So
see, but Cat ain't built that way.
He came in and took your squad, bro. Like,
Cat
you know what I'm saying?
Cat ain't built that way. Cat ain't built that way. But the reason why I said that is Ant got to be careful, because not everybody is going to respond well to that.
Well, this is where the comparisons come in at. Everybody didn't respond well to Jordan. Everybody didn't respond well to Kobe. Mind you, Chris Broussard, once again, salute. He said this, that Michael Jordan said, don't pass the ball to Bill Cartwright. Right. Bill Cartwright went up to Michael Jordan and told him, if you ever say that again, I'm going to break your legs and you're not going to be playing.
Right, exactly.
So there's ways to handle these situations, because it's the thing when it comes to folks on TV. Folks look at them as cyborgs and robots. These are humans still. So, my thing is, if you calling me out on the airwaves or you being disrespectful to me and I'm your teammate, it's going to get solved right then and there. Right. We going to solve that right then and there.
But you can see that Cat ain't built that way. Cat ain't built that way.
Like, that's crazy, dog. But this is the thing.
The same way Horace Grant ain't cut from that cloth of, like, you say something crazy about me,
Well, Horace Grant, I think he said,
Horace Grant is cold, but Horace Grant,
I don't think he allowed Jordan
Did you see the way that he was looking in that interview, dog?
What interview?
In that Last Dance documentary interview.
Refresh my memory.
Have you seen The Last Dance?
I seen it, but refresh it. It was like that was like the year of the pandemic. I haven't seen it since.
But I forgot exactly what the context was, but they was trying to blame Horace Grant for something, and he didn't have like no kind of dog mentality kind of response. He was like on some like innocent puppy type stuff.
Listen, man, there's absolutely no way on God's green earth. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a player, like, look, I've always felt this way. Everybody has a role. Me, I have no ego. Right? So if I'm playing with a guy and he's the best guy on the team, you the best guy on the team. I'm here to help you, but you're not finna disrespect me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You're not about to disrespect me. I'm here to help you. You know what I'm saying? Just as much as I need you to win, you need me to win too. Right. To play my part. You're not about to disrespect. We men at the end of the day. And a lot of these guys have kids and families. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not about to violate me. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, at all. So, nah, that like, you know, but I don't think what Ant said was crazy disrespectful though.
No, but it's just the thought of, you know, you chiming in on something that I feel like should stay behind closed doors.
What, foul trouble?
No,
I think the world sees in foul trouble every game.
Right,
almost.
but as a team, you got to present unity.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be out here on some dog why you always fouling type stuff.
Did he say it in that type of way though?
No, he didn't say it in the.
It was like in a jokingly fashion.
Well, no, I don't think it was in a jokingly fashion. I think Ant was serious because his reaction was like. It was like a reaction to whatever it was that Cat said. He was like, "Well, stop effing fouling."
I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
Was this on the floor when he said this?
No, this was in the press conference, the post-game press conference. So that's why I'm saying, like, he's gonna learn better because he's only 22 years old. If he's gonna be the leader that he needs to be for this for the team to take it there.
Let's be real here. What 22-year-old should be the leader?
This is
Cat should be the leader.
You right. Look, this is right, but Cat just ain't cut from that cloth. This is why Minnesota, they made the mistake when they chose to invest in Cat over Jimmy Butler in the first place.
Well, remember what I said to you, right? Remember what I said to you. I wouldn't mind bringing Jimmy Butler back.
To Minnesota?
Yeah. Especially with that little thing that's going on, like with it seemed like him. I don't know if that's a real thing or a big issue. Maybe they could solve that behind the scenes. But if I'm Minnesota, hey, I wouldn't mind because I don't think Butler will get in the way of Cat. I'm not Cat, but Ant doing this thing. I think he would actually. If you got Conley,
so here's the dilemma there with that.
What's up?
If you bring in Jimmy Butler. What you doing with Jaden McDaniels?
Then you just say
because you just said that you not a fan of moving somebody.
I was about to say,
that.
Then you just say I'm gonna use your stuff. Then you just say you can play my man's at the 4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like my thing. I'm not
now. To me, in this NBA, that's a doable move. But at the same token, okay, so what does that mean for Nas Reed?
I'm trying to bend to this era.
Okay.
So I'm just talking in terms of
right, but
this current state of the league. I'm trying to bend here.
I hear what you're saying.
It's making me want to throw up saying this, but it is what it is.
I hear what you're saying.
You wouldn't trade Cat for Jimmy Butler?
Oh yes, I would.
I'll figure out the rest later. You know what I'm saying? Like McDaniels, he's still, to me, I like McDaniels. He cold-blooded. But who's they sixth man? Well, Nas B, right? That's cool.
Well, if you get rid of Cat, then shouldn't that elevate Nas Reed to starter?
Right, and then that make McDaniels a sixth man.
McDaniels ain't got the kind of offense for that.
He can give you a little. I mean, look.
He don't look. You look at the last game that he played. All the points that he contributed came from open shots.
You're not wrong there, but that's not my only move, though. That's not my only move. It's just
they should bring back Tyus Jones.
They should never let him go.
Them, yeah. But Memphis can say that too.
Tyus Jones is a very solid role player.
I don't know why he chose to go over to Washington. But,
they probably want to pay him. But like same thing. Reason why Brunson went to the Knicks. They want to pay him. Probably the same thing.
Right.
But if I'm Minnesota, because the way they lost that game, they about as inconsistent. Them and Boston is the same. They are very. If that series would be a toss up, if Minnesota and Boston was to play in the finals, I wouldn't be able to call that. I don't know who will win that game, who win that series. They that inconsistent. I don't know how did it go. You know what I'm saying? So,
well,
Minnesota needs to make some moves at this point if they want to win a championship. I feel like they done plateaued as far as they can get with Cat and Gobert. And he should have took that. He was supposed to take that shot. It don't matter. He was supposed to drive.
I know.
He was at the crib.
I hear what you're saying.
When you at the crib, you're gonna get the benefit of the doubt. Wasn't my man's the referee? Wasn't he there?
Scott Foster?
Wasn't he there?
I think Scott Foster was.
No, he would have called that foul. If he would have just drove to the rim and flailed his arms, he would have got 2 free throws. He was supposed to drive. It was like 3 seconds left.
Yeah, but
he was supposed to drive that. You don't pass that under any circumstance. You don't pass that to Nas Reed. You don't pass that to Nas Reed. Well, Kobe would have passed that to Nas Reed.
Kobe wouldn't have passed it at all. Kobe would have had 5 guys on him, and he would have said, "I don't care. I'm still taking the shot."
Well, Jordan would have passed that to Nas Reed.
Which is, by the way, that's
Allen Iverson would have passed that to Nas Reed.
Which is, listen, y'all. Look, that's a bad decision. No matter who it is we talking about. If you triple team, somebody else is open. If you making the smart basketball play there, you're technically not going to be doing anything.
So I guess if you the coach would have been cool with that, go ahead and pass it to Nas Reed.
If I'm the coach, first of all, I would have called a different play, because I would have seen that my star player is gassed, and so I would have called a different play. I would have called a different play. I would have called an alley-oop.
No, that's too much time for alley-oop.
No,
3 seconds too much time for a lob.
No. You inbounding it from the side. You have everybody in motion, and this is where
the time don't start until the ball hit hands or something.
Right, exactly. So 3 seconds is long enough for you to get one dribble off and a pass in the alley dunk.
That sound good, but the likelihood of that happening, when have you ever seen that happen? Besides, well, even with Dwight, when he had that game-winning alley-oop dunk, that was 25 pounds.
Yeah, you could throw it in from the side.
Yeah, but 3 seconds too long. Like, that has to be like a 0.5 or something like that on the clock for you to do that.
Not necessarily. Because then you put the pressure back on the other team. Now, y'all got to get a shot off under that little bit of time. I'd rather have the pressure on them than the pressure on me.
Who on the Wolves gonna catch an alley-oop?
It would be either between Ant or Cat.
You just said he gassed. How you gonna go catch a lob? Gassed.
He ain't gotta fight through nobody to get through that.
And then Cat. Look here, the Wolves are incomplete to me. Like, I think, listen, you got Ant. Listen, that's your star, right? He your best star you had since KG. In my opinion. Is that far off?
No.
Right. He's your best star y'all had since Kevin Garnett, right? So the last time y'all went to the Western Conference Finals was with Kevin Garnett.
Speaking of, I'm just throwing salt in the wound here, but the Timberwolves picked Johnny Flynn over Steph Curry.
Oh man. But I'm gonna be fair. Let me play devil's advocate again. The only reason why Steph Curry got a shot was due to Mark Jackson. If there was no Mark Jackson, would Steph Curry be where he is now?
Well, no, but Steph Curry still had talent that.
But they wasn't giving him the shot.
True, but Steph Curry was still showing that he was going to be a solid player in this league. Johnny Flynn, his career lasted his rookie contract, and he was out.
Hey, but they say the average professional career ain't that long anyway.
That's fine, but Steph Curry had the special talent.
We wouldn't have knew that if it wasn't for Mark Jackson. Who was giving him? Because if he, look, man.
Well, I'll say this: to have an offense built around getting a 3-point shot, yes, we wouldn't have known that. But it doesn't mean that we wouldn't have known that Steph Curry was a good player.
No, Steph would have been at the least a cold role player. At the least, I'm not saying he is a role player. Steph is a great at this point, but if you get, it's all about opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And Steph was given that opportunity. Same thing with Draymond and Clay. They was sitting there for how many years before they was used?
Well, they both was playing quality minutes young.
Who?
Steph
and Clay? And Draymond?
Steph, Clay, and Draymond, and all of them. They was playing quality minutes young.
And this was under Mark Jackson?
Under Mark Jackson. They both were playing quality minutes young.
Well,
all of them was playing quality minutes young.
Salute to Mark Jackson for Mark Jackson.
Because at that point in time, they was they was still trying to get back to some sort of relevancy. Because the last Golden State Warriors team that was relevant was that Baron Davis, Jason Richardson, Steven Jackson,
which that team was actually cold.
Matt Barnes, Monte Ellis.
That team was cold though, actually. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, they was
right.
Cold.
Yeah. I know they was built. Don Nelson built that team to beat the team that he left.
Underrated team, underrated coach Don Nelson. Nelly, underrated.
Right. So,
it was a tug of war between Monte Ellis and Steph. I know folks was kind of upset that Monte.
Well, I remember it like it was yesterday. Monte found out that he got traded during a pregame warm-up for something else. I still remember him walking out the stadium with the headphones on, dog. Like, I still got memories of that. Because Monte Ellis was my favorite player in the league at the time. So I was all up on, like, watching Golden State and seeing how that was going to work. But they traded him to get Andrew Bogut.
Do you feel like... Nah, it's probably a disrespectful question.
No, go ahead.
Who puts more fear in your heart, Steph or Monte Ellis?
Steph.
Monte was cold though.
But Monte, to me, in a complete sense of a basketball player, he does more.
So I'm thinking in my head, he drives and everything.
So to give you a perfect illustration, right? I'm gonna switch it to football really quick, just to say something real quick.
That's what we do here.
Okay, so Megatron.
It's my guy.
Megatron. He one of the best receivers to ever play the game, but he can only really run 3 routes. Slants, drags, fly routes.
So he disrespecting the Lions like
okay, so look. They have a drill in football called a 3-cone drill. And this is supposed to gauge your ability to change direction at what speed can you change direction and whatnot. He had a worse time than Tom Brady.
Well, Megatron?
Yes.
I won't be surprised as big as he is.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So even though he can only do 3 routes as a receiver.
So let me ask you this. I ain't even cut your wisdom. with him only being able to run 3 routes, still being in the Hall of Fame, still being triple teamed at some instances.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Steph Curry, he only does a certain amount of things really on the floor, and he's developed into be getting getting better at doing more and more things as his career's got on. So he's not just a 3-trick pony or anything like that. But I'm just using that as an example. His ability to do those 3 things really well at such an elite level is better than the guy that can do everything just at a good level.
I can see what you're saying there.
So
I see what you're saying.
So yeah, I mean, did they make the right move? I think that's self-explanatory. They made the right move. Did it hurt me? Yes. It hurt me, but I was still following Monte Ellis. Him and Brandon Jennings. That was a cold pairing. They didn't stay together long enough.
So with the Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Brandon Jennings, that was a cold pairing.
I love Brandon Jennings in Detroit.
And they didn't get a long enough time. And unfortunately, their first round playoff series was against the LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh Heat. So it was like, what else you thought was going to happen? But then Monte Ellis goes to Dallas with Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
And he's popping off over there. And then he really starts popping off when they traded for Rajon Rondo. But I remember the playoff series that they had against the Spurs.
So Rajon quit?
Well, no, that was against Houston. But I think this was before they got Rajon. But they had made the playoffs the year before they got Rajon.
Right.
I think it was. And I think it was in the playoff series when they had against Pop in the Spurs. I think this is back when, was this LaMarcus Aldridge? I don't think this was LaMarcus Aldridge. But anyway, Popovich said the game plan was to stop Monte Ellis from getting paint penetration.
He can drive. I mean, he could.
Right. And so, but I just felt like that was interesting because this Dirk was still on that team.
I'd rather live with Dirk shooting than having this dude drive.
But that's the thing. I'm like, the other team said, in order for us to win this series, we got to stop him, not him.
Yeah, I mean, I will always live with you shooting jump shots versus driving to the paint. I don't think anything's wrong with that because,
But had Rajon Rondo would have never quit, they would have beat Houston.
I'm not disagreeing with that. Rajon Rondo's an extension of the coach, man. So
I mean, but anyway, back on topic. The Timberwolves, man, their inexperience of winning in the playoffs is showing here.
Yeah.
They inexperience is showing, and Dallas having 2 cold-blooded certified killers. Because Luka already got a graveyard that has Kawhi Leonard and Paul George in it, Devin Booker in it. Like he already has that graveyard. Now he is looking like, not gonna say that this is what it's gonna be, but it's looking like this could potentially be a sweep.
I give the Wolves a game. I'm gonna say this because with the Mavericks playing they've been inconsistent like the whole time, honestly. Kyrie and them, and maybe it's due to them. Maybe Kyrie's inconsistency is due to him getting other people involved and he changed his play style in a sense. That could be the case. You know what I'm saying? And him kind of taking turns with Luka. That could be the case. I don't know why they're so inconsistent, but the role players is picking up the slack due to inconsistencies. But I'm giving Anthony Edwards. He done shown through this playoff series that he can pop off and really go off for real, and go off and be unstoppable. He's shown that. No? Is that false?
No, but he's shown that on his own terms. On his own terms. See, Dallas is creating the terms in this game, in this series right now.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas is creating the terms. Dallas is like, okay, we gonna stay in this game. This is gonna stay relevant. You not gonna stay comfortably ahead of us. You gonna there's pressure to every one of your possessions with us.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that playing against Phoenix. There wasn't pressure in every one of those possessions. It wasn't even like that playing against Denver.
Well, I agree, but you got two different type of cats though. See, when I look at Phoenix, right? I don't think Bill is as good as advertised. He's a good role player, but I don't think he's never thought that. Then Booker.
Well, him and Booker, they
the same dude.
They taking up the same space on the floor.
Bill should be coming off the bench, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever. So with the Suns, they was all wrong there. And then Kevin Durant, we've already seen that he's just a guy that plays in a neutral sense. You know what I'm saying? So we not Kevin Durant is official, but he's never been that guy that's he don't have the Kobe Jordan in the mentality. He just a straight official out cold baller. You know what I'm saying? And due to circumstances when he really go off like that, like with the Warriors, he had a bunch of cats on his team that, you know what I mean, he can rely on. Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant nice, but he's not. He don't have what I want in the chest, in my opinion.
Right. He
don't have that. But he's cold though. Kevin Durant's one of the rare guys that don't have to have it in their chest like that to win a title. You just got to have a good team around him.
Yeah, because he's just
you know what I'm saying? But he don't have to have it in his chest. But that's
freak.
A very rare thing. You know what I'm saying? So
he's a freak.
But things have to be in line though.
Right. Plan go.
He's not gonna take the bull by the horns and be like, yo, he's Kevin Durant is gonna do what Kevin Durant do, regardless of the situation. Right. He had 25 and 30, but still lose. And it's hey, I got my 30, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't my fault. Right. So it is what it is.
And this is where the growth of Kyrie Irving is probably it's shown itself. Because Kyrie used to be about getting his 30 and his 40.
Yeah.
That used to be what he was about.
Mm-hmm.
And then you remember that interview that he had where he apologized to LeBron?
What we talking about? Oh yeah. When he was on somebody's podcast. He was sitting like a couch or something.
Well, he was on Boston at the time that he said that.
He said he didn't realize how hard it was or something.
Yeah, because he's trying to lead kids. And at that point in time, I understood where Boston was coming from because Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals without him there. And now you're going to come up in here and you think we need you?
They didn't need him, though.
Right. So he was Kyrie was still learning how to be a leader.
Right.
He was still learning how to be a leader. Now it looks like he's taken all of that game that he's got over the course of his career between playing with Bron, being on Boston, and being the number one option on that team,
mm-hmm.
and then going to Brooklyn, teaming with KD.
Mm-hmm.
He's learned a lot of things over it because he's took a lot of bullets over the years.
Unnecessary ones too.
Right. So he's taken all of that and now he's able to teach from experience, from being the other guy and trying to be the leader, and now he can take that. See, because now he's taking the back seat to Luka. And scoring 30 and 40 is not as important to him.
Well, and plus when you got role players that, man, listen, I know it feel good to be able to rely on the other four guys on the court, man. They ain't all on you.
Right. And so that's where he's grown, and the fact that he chose to stay in Dallas was a wise decision. Because he had the opportunity to go somewhere else. and essentially, make his own terms again for his career.
Let's be honest here. Mark Cuban, I haven't heard any crazy stories about him being a terrible. He take care of his players. Yeah. When I understand, I never heard any type of stuff about him. He take care of his guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, Kyrie, now he's this player, and that's the ultimate X factor that nobody can deal with. Nobody on Boston is going to be able to deal with that. Nobody on Boston is going to be able to deal with Luka.
I mean, look.
But Minnesota, being that that's the current team that they got in front of them, I feel like because Minnesota as a whole dealing with this kind of success, making it to the Western Conference Finals, Cat being in the year, Cat being in the league for 9 years and never getting this far, Rudy Gobert never getting this far, Anthony Edwards being as young as he is, and this is his first time ever making it this far. Has Mike Conley ever made it to the Western Conference Finals?
Not that I know. Was he
with the Grizzlies?
With the Grizzlies, he may have. I think was he on the Grizzlies with Zach Randolph and them, because they went to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, he was over there. I think.
So he may have. Yeah, don't quote us on that.
But
that was a while ago.
But this is a very strong possibility that this is the first time for all of them. This is the first time for all of them.
I mean, look, if we look at the rosters on some objective, real stuff, the T-Wolves not better than the Mavericks. Gobert not better than Gafford. We're not even gonna play that game. I don't think Gobert is better than Gafford. You know what I'm saying?
Some people will say because they just gonna point straight to
he's not better than Gafford, bro. He's not better than Gafford. I didn't even know Gafford was good like this. You know what I'm saying? Until he went to Dallas. He not better than Gafford.
Well, he was on Washington.
And then PJ Washington, and Cat. Listen,
he was on Charlotte.
If I'm gonna give you a hot take, I'm gonna take PJ Washington over Cat, man, because PJ Washington played that 4 like I need him to. Okay, so.
Well, look, this is the thing. See, this is where not getting so caught up in a team's record benefits you. Because every team got a cold player somewhere on that roster. You just got to be able to have the eyes to see.
Well, let's be honest, though. Let's be real here with Dallas. Just like how we said the Knicks won the real 2, Dallas not no real 5.
Not at all. No.
Dallas probably would be number 1 or 2 in the West if they would have had that roster.
Before the deadline.
You're right. So they made that trade. That's why trade deadline moves is very important sometimes, because I think the Pistons had this same type of move with Rasheed Wallace at the trade deadline when they got him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look at the Lakers last year. The Lakers last year was looking like they wasn't even going to be around for long, and then they had one of the craziest trade deadlines, and they made it to the Western Conference Finals. Being that it meant that they got swept.
Exactly, but they still went there. So the Mavericks is not really a 5. Right. So if you look at that roster and line them up on some real stuff, just to start lineup alone, Gafford is better than Gobert, dog. If you want to say Gobert allegedly plays defense better than Gafford, whatever, you can have that. But everything else, no.
When it comes to fighting down there,
you know what I'm saying? Exactly.
When it comes to fighting down there, who you want?
Exactly.
Which game you watch?
Exactly. PJ Washington, he plays the 4 better than what Cat does. Whatever, call it what you want to call it.
Listen.
But PJ Washington not getting sit in the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah, under no circumstances should that happen to the guy that's supposed to be the
in the conference finals. He gets set in the whole fourth. Mind you, let's put some context on this.
Right.
It's not like it's the middle of the season and they got an argument and he getting set the whole fourth quarter as a punishment. This is the conference finals where a championship bid is on the line here.
This is where I point my finger back at the coaching again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get you don't want to have 3 big men on the floor. That makes sense. But if you was going to sit anybody, shouldn't it have been Rudy?
Yes. So that's clear. But who's the 3 for the Mavericks? My man's name?
McDaniels. No,
the Mavericks.
No, the Mavericks. Oh, Derrick Jones.
Derrick Jones Jr. Yep. So Derrick Jones Jr. versus McDaniels. That's like a
That's a
toss
fairly
up
even matchup
because
for right now.
McDaniels.
He gives you more defensively, but Derrick Jones, he provides you with more offense.
We call that a draw. Cool. Ant Edwards and Kyrie. Kyrie is the better player, but Ant got that dog in him. But Ant Edwards.
Kyrie.
You know what I mean? Like,
Kyrie.
Ant cold, but Kyrie is just better. It's what it is.
Kyrie is Kyrie.
There's nothing wrong with having either one of them guys. It's just Kyrie got the experience. He's a champion. He's the best ball handler. Period. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so it's just Ant is just mismatched. But that don't take nothing away from Ant. Mm-hmm. It's just what it is. Too much inexperience.
To me, from a strategic standpoint, I want my best scoring option to have all the energy that he needs.
He can't do that guarding Kyrie. He wouldn't be able to do that. Well, he'd be better off guarding Luka.
Yeah, guarding Luka, he stands a better chance. But then you have to ask yourself, okay, so if you take McDaniels off of Luka, how much easier is it going to be for Kyrie to get work on McDaniels?
Easier. So I mean, Kyrie is the de facto unstoppable guy here. You know what I'm saying?
The matchups is crazy because I was listening to the post game show on the Inside the NBA, and Charles Barkley said something that is interesting. He said, because the playoffs is all about matchups,
right?
In a lot of cases,
right.
And Charles Barkley said, had Dallas been playing Denver would beat Dallas.
No, I don't believe that.
I don't necessarily believe it, but I can see why he would say that.
I don't.
Well, Jokic, for one, he can be the facilitator, but he can also play like a big man.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing.
Now, his surrounding team, like I brought this out. I think I told you this on the WhatsApp. The biggest difference with the Nuggets this year is that they didn't replace their two biggest role players that they had last year.
Talking about Bruce Brown and
Jeff Green.
Yeah, but even then though, right? Because
they had Thomas Bryant on that team too, and he was like spelling Jokic. Like,
but who on earth gonna stop Kyrie over there?
It's
just as dominant as Jokic will be,
right? But
and then Gafford will be a problem too, because at the end of the day, Jokic got to try to stop lobs and all that. He's not stopping that.
By the way, in Indiana, they ended up losing.
Yeah, I seen that. They lost.
But
shocker there.
But
should have lost.
But the whole point is, nobody is equalizing what you getting from the best player on the Mavs. Nobody is equalizing what Kyrie did in the first half of Game 1. Nobody is equalizing what Luka did in Game 2. With Denver, you got two players that can somewhat equalize the impact.
Who?
Jokic can equalize what Luka does. And Jamal Murray, from an offensive standpoint,
look here.
We seen Jamal Murray take over series.
Against Dallas, he wouldn't do that.
Who's gonna stop him?
He got to play defense. You see how Ant looking?
No, but
you see how
Malone is a better coach than he is. Malone wouldn't have him guarding Kyrie.
Who's gonna guard him?
Look, if
guys, look, who's gonna guard Kyrie on the Nuggets, bro?
Listen, look, if Malone is as smart as I think he is, he's just gonna let Contavious Caldwell-Pope be on Kyrie and let it be what it is. Cause at the end of the day, if you can't play defense, then you need to be able to play offense.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with your statement. I'm just saying, like, at the end, just like Jokic there's nothing you can do with him.
Right, but
there's nothing you could do with Kyrie either.
You're right, but this is...
And then you got Luka, there's nothing you could do with him.
See, but this is what I'm saying, though. this is what I'm saying. Jokic being guarded by Gafford, P.J. Washington, and Derek Lively. I see a whole lot of foul trouble.
Yeah, but I hear you.
I see a whole because Jokic will attack them dudes.
That's cool, but
Cat ain't attacking them dudes.
Right, but this the thing. Okay, Jokic gonna get his stuff. That's fine.
Right.
You can't score 110 points, man.
No,
so
he can't.
So Jokic can have 40, 10, or whatever the case is. You still gotta stop the guys, the two guys I have back here. You have to stop them, and you can't.
Right. Yeah. Look, you looking at two teams that got essentially because I don't think there's nobody on Dallas that can stop Jamal Murray if he's popping off.
Jamal Murray is he's better than Brunson. He's better than him. But Jamal Murray ain't no Luka or Kyrie.
I'm not saying that he is.
And I don't think he as unstoppable either because he stops himself.
Well,
for the most part, it looks like he's inconsistent himself.
In this playoff series, he's dealing with that calf. So, are you going to give him some rope?
I'm gonna give him some rope, but I think that
some rope?
I give him some rope, but I think he's a tier 2 guy. I don't think he's like tier 1.
That's fine. But Jamal Murray, he has a resume of doing this though, just like they do. It's just not as deep and it's not as cold as theirs. But Jamal Murray has a resume.
So you just said what I said. He's a tier 2 guy.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they can stop him.
Yeah, but this the thing though. If we looking at the whole, like, okay,
at the end of the day,
Jamal Murray's the weakest link out of these dudes.
That's fine, but that doesn't mean that he won't be effective.
I'm not saying he wouldn't be effective, but the thing is, I'm rolling with Luka and Kyrie over Jokic and Jamal Murray 10 times over 10.
Well, listen, I'm not saying that I agreed with what Charles Barkley said.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying I can
and
see
then
why
that roster, because look, the Mavericks is better than what the names say.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen,
they're a cold team.
If
like,
we
they
was
cold.
to break this down, player for player.
And the last player matchup that we didn't mention was Luka and Conley, and I don't think that needs to be mentioned. We know what's up.
Right.
So,
but if we was to break that down, Denver, player for player, matchup for matchup, that series would come down to Michael Porter Jr. for Denver.
And that'd be Michael. He's like a poor man's Clay.
He's almost like a J.R. Smith.
He's a poor man's Klay Thompson. Poor man's Klay Thompson, because all he can do.
I would say Keegan Murray is more of that than he is. Keegan Murray on the Kings, but
they're in the same. But like Porter, look, Michael Porter Jr.
The reason why I say Michael Porter is because he has athletic ability. His jump shot, he gets off the ground high, and just like J.R. Smith, he can shoot you in the game or he can shoot you out of the game.
J.R. Smith better than him, dog.
Yeah, I'm not
by like a mile. My Michael Porter Jr. ain't sweet like that. I think Michael Porter Jr., the reason why Michael Porter Jr., he plays for the Nuggets. If he played for the Magic, there would be nothing like, you know what I'm saying? Would you want Michael Porter Jr. for Magic?
We would see a different version of Michael Porter Jr. because while he's on Denver, he's not getting the ball.
Dog, he not. So, even if he got the balls, he putting it on the floor on you like that?
Well, we don't know if he can do that or not.
No.
We don't know if he can do that or not.
He can shoot if you in the league,
look,
most of these dudes can shoot threes if you open.
He was a top, well, what was that? Number 6 pick in the draft for a reason.
How many top? Dog, what? What that mean?
What I'm saying is he has.
How many people have flopped being a top 10 pick?
I hear what you're saying, and you're right. But I'm just saying he would have been like we would understand Michael Porter differently.
But Michael Porter ain't sweet, man. He's not sweet like that.
Because the player that he is in Denver, they're making him just a spot up shooter, pretty much.
That's what he looked like. That's what he is.
But that's not what he was in college.
That's because you step up a different level, man. You already know how it go. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is he would have had an opportunity.
Patrick Beverly looked official in high school.
That's fine.
What is he now?
He's a defensive anchor.
That's it. He probably was breaking folks and all that in high school, shooting threes, twos, all that. But he not doing that in the league. Michael Porter is a spot up shooter. That's what he is. And when he try to put it on the floor, he gets shut down.
Right. Well, look, listen. Two things can be right. Would he have been a spot up shooter on a different team? We don't know. But a whole lot of players would turn into spot up shooters playing with Jokic. Just like playing with Bron. We seen the likes of Chris Bosh and the likes of Kevin Love turn into corner 3-point shooters.
You said you were not high on Chris Bosh anyway, and you were not high on Kevin Love, so.
But we seen fat Kevin Love get 30-20 games on a regular basis.
I told you that, and you dismantled my statement when I said that.
What did I say?
That I said Kevin Love was official with the Wolves. They ain't win nothing. That's what you said.
Yeah, because they didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
They didn't win anything.
You know, but I mean, he was cold over there.
He had more of a better team because, okay, so look, anybody that's listening, look up the name Nikola Peklovic.
He was cold.
Nikola Peklovic was that dude. I wish he would have had a longer career, but due to his associates, you know, his career got cut short. But the tandem with him and Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio, that should have been something that we should have seen for a longer time.
In my opinion, Rubio's underrated. He's one of the guards. I like those type of guards, so distributing guards.
Right.
I love those guards. So they always get put on the high list for me.
Right.
So I always liked Ricky Rubio.
Whereas Chris Bosh, he was cold in Toronto. Honestly, I can't remember none of his teammates.
When he had Jermaine O'Neal was over there. I remember that. I think
was Jalen Rose over there? Like
I don't think Bosh was there.
Or was it the Morris Peterson? I think his name was.
You ain't like Mo P?
No, like he was solid, but like I'm just trying to get a breakdown.
I don't know
how good this team was because all I know is that they lost to Orlando in the first.
When they started trying to really make moves, that was around the time that he ended up leaving to Miami.
But I do remember he had a couple of possessions, and that's exactly what I mean when I say that. A couple of possessions. Mm-hmm. Think about how many possessions happened in a game. Mm-hmm. A couple of possessions where he gave Dwight the business.
Bosh?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Bosh was a top 4. It happens.
Right.
It happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't necessarily count that against Dwight, and I wouldn't give Bosh extra praise for that because.
Right. But I'm just saying that to say guys that was viewed as being like that when they go to a team where there's a higher alpha, they gonna automatically take a lesser role.
Well, I mean, if you want to win, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you have to.
If you want to win,
somebody got to be everybody. It can't be that many Chiefs and no Indians, dog. Like, you have to have some Indians. That means what it is.
So, anybody, because we both agree that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league right now.
Yep.
Anybody in the league would take a backseat to Jokic.
Well, yes. I mean, he ain't no. Listen, I know. The Wolves beat them, right?
Right.
And that's due to their lack of depth.
They lack of depth and a dumb, stupid game plan. I don't know what Malone was smoking. I don't know what Malone. Like we just had examples of this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play players the whole game and expect them to be popping off like that. Especially him. Jokic don't got the athletic ability.
But we talked about this. Who's his backup?
DeAndre Jordan.
Can he do that? This now. This is the thing. I'm gonna say this because I feel like DeAndre Jordan should have got minutes.
That's what I said.
But the way he runs his offense,
he runs it through the big man.
Right. So
if it was more of a traditional offense,
right.
This would, but that would have required him to have another ball handler on the team. And this is where not having Bruce Brown and Jeff Green.
Bruce Brown ain't no ball handler.
No, but
no.
But when you have more depth at your role player spots, that takes the weight off of that a little bit.
Right, but he has Jokic.
He had
almost running the ones.
If you wanted. If you was desperate, you could have let Reggie Jackson try it out.
Reggie Jackson can run. Look, let me tell you something. Am I the biggest? I like Reggie Jackson personally. I don't think I keep people in their place. I understand who does what and how. I like Reggie Jackson. Do I think he the greatest? No, but I do like him. You know what I'm saying? I let him come off the bench on my roster. I would. You can bring in DeAndre Jordan and let Reggie run the ones for a second. For a few minutes.
Yeah.
Give that man a rest. You can do that. Reggie Jackson, it's not like he don't know how to play. He been to the finals before. He had decent stretches in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Reggie Jackson showed he can play. He can play.
Right.
Let him run the ones. I don't think he gonna mess it up. And then, him and DeAndre Jordan actually plays good together. It's very similar to how Luka throw them lives to Lively and Gafford. It's very similar to that. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta change it up, a little pick and roll offense a little bit. Let Jokic get a breather because the dude, he can't run no 40 minutes.
No.
Especially with all the stuff he does.
Right.
He looked exhausted.
Yeah, he has too much. And this is the trap that some teams get themselves into. Dallas almost did the same thing with Luka. Where you rely on your top superstar for so much, and you get lazy in getting him a team because you be like, oh man, this player, he's so fantastic, he does everything. We can just let him do it.
If we look at the great players, look at their role players. Every championship team, look at the role players.
Exactly. But to go along with what we're saying here, look at LeBron on his first stint in Cleveland.
He ain't had nobody with him. He ain't had no soldiers with him like that.
Cleveland rolled LeBron and didn't really care to get him any quality help. Now I do understand that they got Mo Williams over there. And then they got Antoine Jameson.
First of all, let's put this in perspective. Antoine Jameson didn't come there till after LeBron left. He didn't even play with LeBron.
Well, no, that's not true.
No, he didn't play with him, remember, because he was mad that he even came. See, they got Antoine Jameson when LeBron made that decision. He never played with him.
The way I remember it is that they had the opportunity to get Amari Stoudemire. And they turned down the Amari Stoudemire trade and got Antoine Jameson instead.
No, they didn't play together. Not that I remember. They didn't play together.
I would seriously suggest we double check that. But
let's look at this. What year was this?
That's hard.
And we gonna look this up. Go ahead, section. Go ahead, Josh.
It's gotta be in the late 2000s, somewhere around there.
I know that for a fact.
Somewhere in the late 2000s.
I remember that whole thing where because Antoine Jameson left the Wizards, which he should have stayed there at that point, and came to Cleveland because he thought he was playing with LeBron.
But he was old at that time.
But Antoine Jameson would have been decent with Bron. Antoine Jameson was underrated.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, you're not getting him a quality player that he can really run with that he can win championship with. But anyway, going back to the point, relying on your top player to carry the load alone is a bad idea. Because at the end of the day, they still human beings too. They're gonna miss shots. They're gonna turn the ball over. Just because you're putting that much more weight on their shoulders.
Oh no, you're right. So, my bad. You're right. Nah, cause I was wondering why you're so upset. So, 2009-2010 Cavs, right? They actually had hold on now. They had Daniel Gibson.
Booby Gibson?
No, let me read this roster down. Right. Daniel Gibson, Danny Green, J.J. Hicks. So you said you liked him.
J.J. Hicks was solid, but he was not no... I'll put it to you this way. If you don't remember who J.J. Hicks is, there's a reason for that.
I mean, he ain't no different than my man's with the dreads who played for the Nuggets.
Man with the dreads that played for the Nuggets. You ain't talking about Nene, is you?
No, the other guy, the forward, the high energy guy. I can't even think of his name, dog.
That played for the Nuggets with the dreads.
Yeah, real high energy guy. You know who I'm talking about.
Fareed?
Yep. He ain't no different than Kenneth Fareed. J.J. Hicks ain't no different than Kenneth Fareed.
I think Fareed is better than him. I'm sorry. I'm going to give that knock. Look, Fareed got the nickname Manimal for a reason.
Hickson played the exact same way.
Just at a much lower level.
All right. So let me go keep reading this. So you had Gibson, Danny Green, Hickson, Big C, Cedric Jackson, not familiar with him, Darnell Jackson, Bron James, Twan Jameson, Kobe Carl. I remember Kobe Carl. He was all right. Jamario Moon was all right.
No.
Jamario Moon was all right.
No.
Shaq, Anthony Parker could shoot that thing. Leon Poe, Telfair, Veritas, Delonte West, Moen. Hey, man. They team wasn't that bad, man.
They team was trash without LeBron.
This wasn't the...
if you take LeBron off of that team, do they make the playoffs?
What was the East looking like at that time? I'm looking at this because we just talked about guys who know what they doing. If this the thing,
if I remember correctly,
does Shaq not know what he doing? Does Anthony Parker not know? Anthony Parker is an underrated player.
Okay, so
he's an underrated guy. He can. Like me, people like Porter Jr. Right?
I opened up a can of worms.
There's people like Porter Jr. Right? Is he that much better than Anthony Parker?
Well, look, listen. They play two different positions.
Anthony Parker played a 2.
What do you think Michael Porter is?
He's a 2.
He plays a 3 for Denver.
No, he's a 2, man. Know what I'm saying? I don't care what I don't care what Denver got him listed as. That dude's a 2. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care what Denver got him listed as. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Delonte West underrated. I don't care about the personal problem. Well, Delonte West underrated.
You do something like that, the chemistry on the team should be messed up.
I agree. You know what I'm saying?
You do something like that.
Mo Williams, solid role player. I mean, Danny Green. Wasn't people loving Danny Green?
At that point,
spot shooter.
Danny Green didn't make his name until he got on the Spurs.
Know what I'm saying? Big Z, underrated big man.
And at that time, how old was he?
Big Z?
Old as dirt. You give him a bunch of old players.
Listen. At the end of the day, you had a bunch of vets that knew what they was doing.
They a shell of themselves.
This wasn't. I'm gonna say this. This wasn't the. What team did he go to the finals with?
Worse than that, or younger than that. It was definitely younger than that.
Younger is worse too because they don't know what they're doing. Right, so,
but
when you got all them veterans, I'd rather play with a team of old vets than a bunch of young cats that don't know what they're doing because they don't want to listen.
Right.
See, old vets know what to do and all that stuff. You just got to manage them right. That's where coaching come in.
But that requires a different skill set. Bron's skill set is, I'm going to get my teammates involved. I'm going to always make the right basketball play, which is dope.
And all them shooters he had over there? Listen.
Did they make the shots?
With the 09-10 roster?
Clearly they did.
That's the team that Dwight put out, right?
Yeah, that was the team that Dwight put out.
So, but we not gonna sleep on the Magic.
Hold on.
That's 09-10 roster.
Hold on. I'm not sure if that's 09-10.
No, it has to be. Remember, because
no, because wasn't that the year that Boston won the championship?
No, LA won that. Because remember, I go by the years of 2K and Live. That's how I keep track of years, y'all. So, Dwight was on the cover of Live 10. Kobe was on the cover of 2K10. They put the finals matchups on the opposite ends.
Then how did Gilbert Arenas make the cover in Live?
08.
They didn't make the finals.
I'm talking about that year. I'm not talking about then. You know what I'm saying? 2K10 had Kobe. Live 10 had Dwight.
Okay.
Remember they had that puppet commercial going there all through 09.
I remember all of that.
And Dwight
put
them out.
I'm just not sure because for 2 years the finals matchups was the Lakers and the Celtics.
Yeah, that wasn't that time. Remember, because I think the Magic won like.
What year was it that the Celtics won their championship with Doc?
That was 08. Because Garnett was on the cover of 2K.
So if it happened in 09,
Garnett was on the cover of 2K9. Mind you, it's always a year backwards when they put the cover up.
So that means the following year, it would have been the
Lakers
rematch with the Lakers and the Celtics.
No,
because the Magic put them out after that. That was after that.
Well, either way it goes, the Magic put the Cavs out. Yeah. Either way it goes, they put them out.
Second round.
Yep, but I mean, we're not gonna sleep on the Magic like they didn't have no cold squad.
No, the Magic definitely had a cold squad, and I'm still pissed with Otis Smith for tearing that apart. I'm still pissed with Otis Smith, for real. Like, and look, just to show how winning is not mandatory in Orlando. They the only team that I know that threw a parade just for winning the conference.
I ain't never seen that.
They the only team that I know. They threw a parade.
That must have been local.
Yes.
They ain't show that on ESPN.
Yeah. That's the only team that I know that's how I know winning is not mandatory for Orlando.
Well, we went to the game in Orlando. You said there was a bunch of tourists there. I remember when we went.
Really?
And there was a bunch of tourists there taking pictures and all this irritating.
Because
folks.
Look, if you go to Orlando game, you go to the top sections, the nosebleeds. It looked like they just gave them tickets away to like some foundation or something like that just to get people up in there.
Right.
So, clown organization for a lot of, because Orlando already has a whole bunch of bad history. We said Shaq wasn't worth $100 million. Look how that turned out. We traded away Tracy McGrady to get Steve Nash, Cuttino Mobley, and Calvin Cato, which looked like it was
Steve Francis.
Yeah, Steve Francis, and that looked like it was gonna be.
To be fair, that wasn't a bad trade.
But Orlando finds a way to mess things up because they trade away Cuttino Mobley to get Doug Christie.
I don't know why you would do that.
They wanted more defense. Let them tell it. But what they didn't understand was the friendship that existed between
the chemistry between Cuttino Mobley and Francis. I'm not gonna say it was this, but you know how Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars.
Right.
I mean,
just to give you illustration.
They had that type of yin and yang type of thing. Francis was his best with Cuttino Mobley.
Right.
It's just that simple.
And so Orlando split that up. They broke that up. Could you make the argument that, okay, you a professional, you should be able to learn how to work with it? Yes, of course you can make that argument. But at the end of the day, you also need to understand how chemistry works as a general manager. And so when you see that somebody works well, because at that point in time, that was Dwight's rookie year, Jameer Nelson's rookie year, because we got them two in the same draft class. We got them two in the same draft class. Now, just think about had the general manager would have did right by Tracy McGrady, what that would have been like for T-Mac to have a young Dwight and Jameer Nelson as teammates.
Well.
And then get Grant Hill back.
Y'all problems stemmed before that.
Yes. But
y'all was supposed to get Tim Duncan. Y'all didn't get Tim Duncan, did you?
Because Doc Rivers said what happens on the road doesn't need to be involved with family.
I agree with that too.
Which is,
you know what I'm saying? I don't disagree with that.
It's not a wrong statement, but you talking about an opportunity to get Tim Duncan here.
Yeah, but listen.
You need to make exceptions somewhere.
Listen, I see both sides. Because
Tim Duncan just wanted his family to be on the road with him.
I see both sides. I understand Doc Rivers not wanting to compromise the other 14 guys of the things because everybody's grown here, right? I'm gonna say this: everybody's grown. If I'm in the shenanigans and I'm a grown man, I don't need nobody, wife and kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I get it. I definitely understand. So I understand the moral compass behind this. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I would have, if it's me, I would have went to my players like, look here, let's just cool it, please, because we trying to win a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just cool it a little bit because I'm trying to win. And mind you, if you hear Josh far away, he making a drink here. You know what I'm saying? The Wise is not here today, so we just doing what we do. You know what I mean? But I get it. Everybody, I'm not with like, I'm gonna compromise everybody because of one guy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's grown and things like that. And you already know in the professional athletes, they're not the most, it is what it is. So you got people, don't nobody want to deal with that. Kids on, you got to act a certain way with kids on the tour bus or the plane, folks' wives. You don't want to put people on blast. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Tim Duncan, what? Hey, because Tim. So I get it, but listen, I tell my guys, look, guys, for this year, let's calm down. The objective is winning the chip. So if we could just dial it back, please. You know what I'm saying? Say, but that's not what it's about.
So, at this point,
I don't know if y'all heard that, but Josh said at this point, why you in the NBA, and I understand. Because look at a guy like Zion. Right? A guy like Zion. You question that, right?
yes.
Zion, he does what he want to do. And it seems like he enjoys everything else but basketball, right? So, but I understand both sides here. I'm not going to sit there and act like I don't know or understand both sides. I understand both sides. And I understand why that Doc Rivers said what he said. But remember, Doc Rivers changed his stance with Boston. Remember, he said he wished he would have, he lightened up his demands and rules with Boston. But then again, Doc Rivers, but then he was dealing with older players too at the same time. One like he was dealing with a bunch of young dudes either. So, he just pouring that, pouring that drink. Josh is elite with the drink making abilities.
I don't know all of that.
Let him tell it. But yeah, so I'm gonna just keep rambling until he come back. It's all good. Oh yeah. We gonna slide over to the coaches, man. But at the end of the day, I feel like the Wolves don't got enough to beat the Mavs. There's too much brain power and skills there when it comes to the Mavs. Luka and Kyrie, they got too much experience and too much, they just got too much experience for them. So this just school for Anthony Anthony Edwards. This is a school. He's sitting in class right now. That's all that is. He's sitting in class getting taught. You know what I'm saying? He going through his course. You know what I mean? And then next year, I think that the T-Wolves got to make some changes. Not super duper crazy changes. Just change mainly Gobert and Cat and get them some dogs with them. And I think they'll be just fine. I don't know about that coach. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be mad if they let the coach go and win after who's available out, because you got Bickerstaff, you got Vogel.
But at this point, they not going to do that. If
they just fired Bickerstaff, he didn't do nothing wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
he didn't do nothing wrong.
This flows into what we was going to talk about next.
All right, so yeah. So we going to head over to that. I'm going to walk the dogs real quick, and we'll be right back.
That's the intentions to be the best. Not just sports, every box we check. Whatever topic we address. No such thing as putting us to the test. We not compromise. Guess you could say we selfish in that sense. What's your top 10? We break it down a list. Not moved by analytics. We judging off live production. You handle your business, we talk about it. Stick up the building, we talk about it. Not just star focus. Attention goes to the whole roster. Show you how conduct a show proper. No props or dialogue. Fact droppers. This the right show you chose. Keep you in the know.